Like all good Americans, I hate SUVs.
Yeah.
But I love a good fight.
Hell yeah.
Even if that fight is against the laws of physics.
What?
The whole concept of taking a perfectly good sports car and then doubling its size, putting it on stilts, and somehow trying to make it sporty is absurd.
Hallelujah.
Then again, absurdity is the defining characteristic of British comedy.
That and bad teeth.
Well, hello, Aston Martin. Meanwhile, over in Germany, Porsche has created an entire business out of the core concept of fighting the laws of physics.
Motors in the wrong dang place.
So making a quick Cayenne is just a cakewalk by comparison. And here in America, why, we're just stupid.
Stupid fast.
Which begs the question, Randy, why did you bring a Maserati MC20?
Well, you said you wanted a supercar.
No, I said we were racing stupid cars.
Stupid. Well, I like stupid. That's why I watch this show.
Well, that tracks. Yeah. This is the electric SUV of the moment. And I suspect the Rivian R1S's moment is going to be a long one, because this is an incredibly well-executed vehicle. Though I must say, that's not really important right now. What is important? 4 electric motors totaling 835 horsepower, 908 pound-feet of torque, and a wheelbase 15 inches shorter than the R1T pickup. So it weighs 50 pounds less, enough of a savings to eke right under the 7,000 pound mark. This is Aston Martin's DBX707, named for its 707 metric horsepower, technically 697 American horses, and 663 pound-feet, which is far less than the Rivian's. But this catfish-looking beauty weighs almost 2,000 pounds less. Also connected to that 4-liter AMG V8 is a 9-speed automatic with a multi-plate wet clutch pack that happily performs a 4,000 RPM boost-building clutch dump to explode off the line. And this is a Lamborghini, your Bentley Bentayga RS Volkswagen-group corporate SUV with a Porsche sticker on it. Oh, that wasn't very nice, but it's true. But make no mistake, Porsche doesn't cut corners. The outrageous Cayenne Turbo GT makes 631 horsepower, just 10 shy of the Lamborghini Urus, at least until next year's Urus comes out. As usual, Porsche means business, and you know it when you look at this thing's tires. Pirelli Corsas with a treadwear rating of 80, and that means grip. So the question becomes, which of these is the quickest baby hauler in all of the land? Is this? EVs don't lose drag races. I want my money back. I want to talk to the manager. And before you judge me for jumping out at that Rivian, I should point out it was at its 110 mile an hour speed limiter for yards. There was no reason to stick around. Well, it looks pretty fast now. Wow, this Porsche didn't just beat those two other things. It would have also beat a Carrera GT, both in 0 to 60 and through this entire quarter mile. So I guess we got to call the new Cayenne GT the new Porsche CGT. Anyway, the new CGT did this despite having 66 fewer horsepower than the Aston. Credit typical Porsche magic. That thing's launch is ridiculous. It allows full turbo boost before you've even moved. If it wasn't for that pesky Tesla Model X, that would be the quickest accelerating SUV in the history of the world. Wait a second. I think that means an EV did win this drag race. It just wasn't here to do it. The Aston loses only off the line. It dumps its wet multi-plate clutch pack like a champ and lights up all 4 tires. But it's 0.2 of a second behind the Porsche by the time it gets to 60 miles an hour. And that all comes down to tires. It has 280 treadwear summer tires, where the Porsche has 80 treadwear tires, which would be like race tires if race tires were allowed to be that aggressive. Once it hooks up, the Aston actually pulls harder than the Porsche does, but they're so close throughout the whole race that either person could jump the launch by 1/10 of a second and reverse the results of the race. This is an SUV that I actually love because it's unabashedly an SUV. And so it gets to have things like SUV tires. Look at those mud tires, those knobbly things. Those cost this thing at least 1/4 of a second off the line. Unless you give it bonus points for doing a big 4-wheel burnout as it goes whoosh. And of course, I do. By the way, those are 640 treadwear, which means they probably last something like 8 times longer than the gumballs on the Porsche. And that makes this thing's 3.3 second blast to 60 that much more impressive. The last time we raced a Rivian, it destroyed everything we put it up against. But that was a pickup, and fast pickups are a distinctly American thing. Fast SUVs are now on the radar of those pesky Europeans, and well, they don't mess around. So the R1S, which is quicker than a BMW M3 competition, is outgunned in this outrageous competition. If you try to work with the laws of physics rather than against them, the obvious choice for speed isn't a truck. It's a slinky, low, lightweight little thing. Sadly, we're left with no choice but to race the outrageously quick Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT against the stunningly beautiful and blisteringly fast Maserati MC20. 'Tis a supercar from a brand that is finally divorced from Ferrari and thus can go at it on its own. Maserati's 3-liter V6 makes 621 horsepower, only 10 fewer than the Porsche's 4-liter V8. And being made out of carbon fiber and with rear drive only, this mid-engine masterpiece should weigh far less than the Cayenne. And it does, 1,200 pounds less. So, cue the race to see if that Porsche magic is powerful enough to overcome its mass. That's an unlikely tie, but there's more to it. See, while the Porsche explodes off the line, the rear-wheel drive MC20 scrambles for traction, and so it's a half-second slower to 60 miles an hour. Once it hooks up, that Maserati is on a mission for the kill. It flips the books and beats the Porsche to 100 by almost a full second, reeling in the Cayenne and catching it just as the two cross the line together, with the Maserati going a staggering 11 miles an hour faster. Maserati says the MC20 doesn't stop pulling until 202 miles an hour. That's the benefit of not fighting against the laws of physics. The Aston only does 193 miles an hour. The Porsche a pathetic 186. And the Rivian, well, it was at its 110 mile an hour speed limit for a good portion of the quarter mile. Look, I know I said the idea of a sporty SUV is stupid, and that's because it is. But this time, stupid beat physics. Or at least tied it. God, that's a stupid concept. Randy was right. This is a stupid show.
Hell yeah.